Sorry, I kept rambling on there. We should get to the notes here in chapter 15. I was just sharing some of my thoughts and things that happened at work and stuff. But let's look at the notes here in chapter 15, starting with verse 20. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. We read that last time. I feel like that's a kind of a yes and no. I mean, not necessarily. Could be, but it's not in every situation, right? Let's look at the note. References to the Antichrist, the son of perdition, in the tribulation. Wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. Okay, so it's actually a prophetic verse, is what he's saying. That the Antichrist will be in pain all the time. That's probably why he'll be psychotic and murderous and stuff. And he'd be cursed too, to be in pain all day. That would be tough. Thank God my leg didn't get chopped off. Thank God. Okay, let's continue the note. The whole passage is Second Advent. It is given as simply the description of a wicked man. But in Psalm 10, 2 through 15, you will find the wicked connected with the second coming of Jesus Christ. This is that wicked of 2 Thessalonians 2, 8. Okay. So Ruckman is saying it's a prophetic verse. It's not so straightforward. I was trying to approach it straightforward, but it's a prophetic verse is what he's saying. I guess that makes sense. Could be both. I still think it could be both at the same time, but I understand. Wicked, you see that word wicked, they try to trivialize it today, like rock stars have been doing that for decades. Say, wicked, brah! Something like that, where it's like a cool thing or something. But in biblical terms, it's a satanic, evil, abominable, against God type thing. It's not a word that you want. You don't want to be the Wicked Witch of the West. I know they're presenting these stupid movies to a bunch of tweens, telling them, you need to be wicked, to be the Wicked Witch, da-da-da. But 100 years ago, the original Wizard of Oz, obviously the Wicked Witch of the West, was a rotten, ugly woman with a big nose, and she got one of them got run over by a house, and the other one got melted. So you don't want to be one of those wicked big nose broads. All right, 15:22. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and not that big noses are necessarily unattractive. I know some ladies that have some big noses and they're very attractive. So I apologize for that. Let's read 22. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. Okay, here's the note. The Antichrist will come out of darkness, Revelation 17:8, and he'll return to darkness, Revelation 17:11. The wicked man, Psalm 109, 6 through 9, was Judas Iscariot, John 17:12, according to Psalm 109:8, Acts 1, 16 through 22. Sympathy for the devil. That's a song by a British guy. I can't think of his name. I want to say Ringo Starr, but that is not correct. Mick Jagger, that's it. Sympathy for the devil, that's what they attempt to do with this whole thematic thing in the second coming of Christ. You create sympathy for the devil, you create sympathy for your adversary, your opponent, and so that the protagonist will join forces with the antagonist. I think it's a pretty common literary thread lately. I think that's what they're pushing. A lot of cultural issues in movies, how, writing patterns and stuff, is the bad guy joins forces with the good guy in order to defeat the other bad guy. Or you create sympathy for your antagonist in order to make him seem more sympathetic, or make the good guys join the bad guys. So then who's the good or the bad guy? Then you get that quote from Isaiah asking that question, good, evil, evil, good, bitter, sweet, sweet, bitter. How do you know the difference between good and evil? So then wickedness is commonplace, so that it becomes, who cares if you're good or bad? It's all nebulous. We're all good, and makes it a lot easier for you to take the mark of the beast, right? If everybody's good, there's no religion, there's no God, there's no good, there's no evil. You can't really identify evil if you've made both sides join forces. I think there's a clear theme throughout the whole Bible that there is good and there is evil. And what our opponent is doing and has done for the past 100 years, he's built this whole system, this whole world. He's corrupted it, he's leavened it. Create that sympathy for the devil. That's why a lot of people like that song, because it's very true. Satan has been there at every major event, and the title is perfect because that's exactly what we've created. That movie Legend. At one point, that attractive lady, thought about being with the centaur guy. I'm going to keep saying it like centaur. I can't pronounce it. And that's actually what that was a few months ago, as they were talking about the most popular book that ladies read is a book where a lady is with a giant centaur type guy. Makes sense. Women are just nuts. Anyway, the Antichrist will come out of darkness and he'll return to darkness. The wicked man was Judas Iscariot, according to Psalm 109:8. Why did I start talking about sympathy for the devil? Judas Iscariot, my coworker was talking about that, and that's a theme that I've thought, and I think Chris has talked about that before, about Judas and why, shouldn't Judas have known what he was doing, and didn't it seem like Judas willingly became the villain, and I don't think so. I think God knew the prophecy coming, and that's how it played out, and I don't think you have to think about it like that. I think you have to approach it in how Satan is attacking all of us today, that he is attempting to create that sympathy for the devil, sympathy for this guy that betrayed Jesus, and to then play both sides and make you doubt your salvation, doubt your integrity in the Lord Jesus Christ, and make you think that he was playing both sides or something, and scary stuff, but that's exactly what they do. They try to compromise you. 15:30. He shall not depart out of darkness, the flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. Combine that with the verse we just read in 22, 23 there. I was just talking about Legend. That's how the movie Legend ends. He reflects light through a bunch of shields and midgets that assemble all these shields, and then they reflect sunlight all the way down this big abyss thing, and all these little people. Sorry if midgets is an offensive term. I like the little people in those movies. And anyway, it was because of the little people and that weird elf guy that they were able to position all the shields so that it all reflected the light all the way down there, and then it blasts light into that centaur guy and it defeats him. So I think they probably read this verse and they were like, ah, see, got to defeat him with light. It makes sense. And of course, the Legend of Zelda games, lots of speculation that a lot of that was based on legend. He looks kind of like Ganon. Ganon was like a half man, half pig guy, kind of like a centaur, but whatever. Here's the note on 30. The whole passage has a double application. 1, to any man who lives wickedly, and 2, to a man who is about to show up, who is wickedness personified. He shall not depart out of darkness. The flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. Self-destruction, right? That's what I get out of it. Evil destroys itself. Sorry, one more pop culture reference. The Stand. That's how The Stand ends, is evil destroys itself. When the Antichrist takes over all this, he won't be able to control everything. He thinks he's going to do better. Let me do it, God. Let me take over and do a better job than you. 7 years, let's go. And he takes over. He only will make it 3.5 years, and then he loses, He's not going to do a good job. It's going to fall apart. The whole thing's going to fall apart. It's not going to work out. Initially, everybody, all the libtards will be very excited about the prospect of having Centaur Man take over. But after a little bit, they'll notice that the Centaur is eating babies and stuff, and they'll be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done this, But anyway, I'll stop talking.